hopefully you guys remember that oftentimes positions are identified with letters, okay? Like when I did those, we did A plus B times A minus B would give you A, whatever A is squared minus B squared, okay? Difference of squares. Squaring, if you have the same exact thing twice, A plus B, otherwise known as A plus B squared, the result is whatever A is squared added to 2 times the product of A and B added to whatever B was squared. Okay, I'm using verbiage to identify position within a polynomial. Okay? Those 2 patterns are great, and you're always going to want to find those, but you're going to have occasions when you don't find the pattern that fits. Okay? There is not going to be a pattern that fits. So what I'm going to share with you is what do you do if there is no pattern that fits? Okay? Is this a perfect square? Is this? No. Is this the difference of squares? No. Well, it's not a perfect square, so obviously it's not the difference of squares. So now, what do I do? Okay. In order to create this polynomial, you have to find, okay, let's just call this C, and they call this, I believe they call that dx, and this is just x squared. Notice there's no coefficient, which is why I don't have a there, okay? There's no coefficient. So you need to find factors of 12 whose sum is 7, okay? Otherwise known as, you could say, factors of C, right, whose sum is B. Well, let me clarify this for you. Factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6 in either way, right? 3 and 4, okay? And in order to create a negative, positive, I can either have negative, negative, or positive, positive, right? I'm not going to list it twice. You guys know that. Now, factors that give you a positive 12 when multiplied, all of these options. But which of these options, when added together, creates 7? 3 and 4. Okay? So, y and y will give you that. Okay? And will it be a positive 3 and a positive 4, or a negative 3 and a negative 4? Because either of those, positive, positive, negative, negative, would create that 12. But what will create a positive 7? Positive, positive, or negative, negative? Positive, positive. So plus 3 plus 4. You can also write it y plus 4, y plus 3. It doesn't change anything. Okay? And there's your answer. Can anything else be pulled out of this other than a 1? No. Or here? No. Okay? The final step, after you've done one of these, is to verify your work by failing. Okay? What is f? Y squared. O? 3y. I? 4y. L? Combine like terms, and you get y squared plus 7y plus 12. We're correct. Okay? For the next 3 lessons, this is what we're going to be doing over and over and over and over. Okay? This is one of the most difficult concepts, this whole factoring business in this chapter. All right? We're going to keep going. We're going to practice a few more, just like it. Okay? And I'm not doing the book examples. They're there for you. You can look at them at your leisure. Okay? So this is my first example. My second example for you is going to be y squared. No, that's not right. I was about to copy the same thing. P squared plus 8p plus 7. Okay? Is this a perfect square? Yes. Is this a perfect square? No. So it is neither a perfect square trinomial, and it's obviously not a difference of squares because there's not a difference of two things going on. So we have to shoot for the pattern or the process above, knowing that this is a, well, that's coefficient of 1, x squared, there is no coefficient, b times whatever the variable is, plus c. We are going to look for factors of c whose sum is b. Okay? Because look at that. 3 plus 4 gave us 7. The sum of 3 and 4, which is the b value, is 7. Okay? Here, we're in the same spot. So let's factor 7, positive. Yep, 7 and 1, negative. Or 7 and 1, positive. Right? So you can write it out, I don't care. But which of those, when added together, will give you a positive 8? Positive, positive. Okay? Follow it. F.
P squared.
O.
P1. Oh, P7.
7p, not p7. You never say it that way. Always coefficient before the variable. I. 1p, or just p. L. Add your b values together, and remember, there's no coefficient. It's a 1. It's like saying I have an apple. I don't have to say 1 apple. If I say I have an apple, you know I have 1. Does that match? Absolutely. Okay? Factors of c whose sum is b. Okay? Actually, it's the next 2 lessons. Factors of c whose sum is b. All right, let's move on. Another example. Okay. This is my third example. X squared minus 12x plus 20. Uh-oh, got a negative value there. Don't worry about it. We got this. Factors of c whose sum is b. Okay, factors of 20. So 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. And it's either going to be positive, positive to create a positive, or negative, negative to create a negative. To create a positive. Okay, which of these factors, when added together, can create a negative 12? Negative 2, negative 10, because negative, negative does create this, and negative 2, negative 10 added together does create that. Square root of a, square root of a. Okay? Minus 2, minus 10. FOIL, please. F.
X squared.
Noah's not the only one that needs to participate. O. Negative 10x. Noah, the coefficient always goes first. I. L. Positive 20. Jared and Noah aren't the only 2 people that need to participate. X squared minus 12x plus 20. Does that match? Yep. Okay. So you see, it doesn't matter. You're still going to keep asking yourself this question. factors of C whose sum is B. These factors are the factors of C whose sum is B. These factors are indeed factors of C, but their sum is not B, same as this. Okay? That's why this is your only option here. Okay? If you chose incorrectly, lucky for you, you foiled it to verify that you do it right. Okay? You're going to foil all of these today to show that you did them correctly. Okay? And then you can, of course, verify in the back of the book. But clearly, you're going to do all the work first. All right. Let's do another one. I've got a couple more that I want to do with you. Oh, lost my place. Here we go. 24 minus 25u plus u squared. I hate this arrangement. It's backwards to me. Okay? Something squared minus something variable plus something is the way I would do it. I would flip this around and make it u squared, because that's your A, minus 25u, because that's your B, plus 24. Okay? You can still factor it this way, by the way. It's just a pain in the rump. Okay? And you will get to places where you're going to factor them that way, but for now, we're not doing that yet. All right. So, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Positive, positive, or negative, negative, right? Okay. Which of these will create a negative 25? Grace, which of those? She's right. Negative, negative, 1 and 24. So, u. Okay, awesome. Let's foil it. Mackenzie, you're going to foil it for me. F. O. I. L. You guys see this? How cool that is? Maybe you don't think it's as cool as me. So don't think that you can't flip this around. And by the way, the book answer that I have is 24 minus u and 1 minus u. Incidentally, that's the exact same thing as this. And I'm going to prove it to you real quick. I'm going to foil it. F is 24. O is negative 24u. I is negative u. And L is positive u squared. Okay? So if you see a book answer and you're like, wait, that's not the same as mine. The only thing is they inverted it. Okay? And that's fine because the resulting negatives attached to the u made a positive u squared. And the resulting negatives attached to the u created that inside O and I, negative 24 and negative 1. Okay? So don't think you're wrong. Just double check what you did, verify that it works, and then you could even check this to kind of verify it's the same thing. Okay? Now, there is one more scenario that you might face today, and that is, what if something is just not factorable? And there are situations like this, and that is example 5 in your book, which I'm doing my own, 18m plus 30. So this one would fit with example 5. Okay? So, factors of C whose sum is B. Let's get our factors lined up. 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 no, 5 and 6, and that's it. Okay? So, do any of these, I know we're going to need a negative negative to create that, right? So, and to create that. So negative, negative. I'm assigning that. This is negative 31. This is negative 17, which would have been nice if that was a 17. This, the sum is negative 13. And this, the sum is negative 11. Okay? This polynomial is said to be irreducible. Okay, you can't factor it, otherwise known as prime. This is the answer you should give me. It's less letters. Okay,